The reason that Donald Trump now is like, yeah, well, let's release the files. Republicans should vote for it. The only reason he's doing that is because two things. One, that it's going to be pretty much blacked out of anything that mentions Donald Trump, which is why he had the FBI in March spend 24-hour shifts going through and finding his name.
Yeah, that screams super innocent to me.
Yeah. And the other thing is, even though he signed the bill and said, yeah, let's release it, the DOJ says, well, actually, we can't release it because it's part of our ongoing investigation.
Epstein.
Hey, that guy keeps coming back from the dead.
Okay, so we did just vote on releasing?
It was almost unanimous. It was one vote in the House. Clay Higgins said, no, I would like to protect pedophiles.
Weird.
But
Check his computer history.
Did they just not have enough people to hold a vote? Was that the thing?
So the discharge petition was to say, we want to bring this to the... So there's a way... Everyone's like, oh my God, what happened last week was the discharge petition with Grijalva was sworn in. It was the 218th vote. And that's why Donald Trump was like so desperately trying to get Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace to flip their vote against the petition. The petition then brings it to the floor, and that's something that a lot of people are like, well, you've got the petition now, and typically it would probably happen at the beginning of December. Then Mike Johnson was like, all right, I'm going to try to rewrite history and how I shut down the government to block the release of the Epstein files and not swear in this democratically elected Democrat from Arizona. Now he's trying to say that he's all for transparency, and he's just trying to protect the victims and wants to make sure that innocent people, and during this press conference,
victims are speaking out.
Yeah.
But they're trying to now make it seem like Donald Trump is one of these innocent bystanders, this victim, because what they're going to try to do is Donald Trump, who promised before he was elected that he would release the Epstein files. Then he came in and everyone's like, where are these files, bro? They did phase one, which is a binder of already released stuff that we had that was already accessible, except they redacted even more on them. So there was even less transparency. Then people were like, what the hell are these? All these right-wing influencers were then outside the White House used as props. And then they're like, we want phase two. They eventually came out with a phase two that they gave to Congress, which was, again, a bunch of old that we had already been given, or it was nothing new that was like, where are the bank transactions? Where are the flight logs? Where are the emails, the conversations? And that is what brought us this most recent moment, which is the Epstein estate gave emails to Democrats, which was he knew about the girls. He was the dog that didn't bark.
Yeah. Blows Bubba.
Blows Bubba, whoever Bubba is. Though Epstein has clarified that Bubba isn't Trump, but still begs the question, who was he blowing? I don't know. Or Bubba wasn't Clinton.
Yeah.
I've heard it was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse named Bubbles.
Oh.
Bubba.
Okay. I mean, I think that it could really be anyone. I think that it could be Clinton. I think, horse. I think young child, also a possibility. Like, I really think whatever was happening at this island, it was like an anything goes kind of thing. Obviously, they were having sex with children, and that's disgusting. But I'm sure there were massive orgies amongst adults happening as well.
I've also heard theories that perhaps cannibalism.
Oh.
Fine.
Why not?
Maybe MAGA and QAnon was right. There is a cabal, but the cabal
was a feast.
There's just been all sorts of various things coming out. Epstein email saying that he knew, like Donald knew about the girls, which I think we obviously know. There's also this, Epstein said that Donald is the worst person he has ever met.
Mm-hmm.
I assume in the context of like doing the most despicable things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they were besties. Like Epstein loved Trump because, in my opinion, this is again my opinion, I think it was probably because he was like, you are so depraved that I'm getting so much on you. Yeah. And he's probably getting so much money from him because of that.
And remember, Mar-a-Lago was a recruiting ground for the spa and salon that Trump knew about, which was also revealed in the emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein.
Yeah, I'm almost impressed by the way that MAGA and I guess the GOP can continue to jump through hoops to pretend they don't understand very clearly what is outlined. They're like, actually, it's the semantics. It could have been.
Well, it's the
Sit on it and spin.
The survivors
for all.
have said what happened.
Yeah.
They released another video saying that they want the files to be released, but they have said what happened. And then you got Megyn Kelly going on a podcast and being like, I have information from someone who's been working closely on this that like
He wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
So 14 to 15 is where you draw the line, Megan?
Like, I work with kids, and that type of rhetoric is
It's disgusting.
Well,
that is a child.
Also, any attempt that somebody tries to go, okay, well, technically that's not pedophilia, that's whatever the other philia is. I'm like, you are making it worse for yourself, because the fact that you know that there is a difference between a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 8-year-old child versus a 14, 15.
at them.
It's like, why would you? I don't know the difference. Like, I mean, obviously there's an age difference in which like the classification term changes, but they're still underage.
Agreed.
The other thing that was confusing about her statement, which I don't have
I'm
directly
very
in front of
upset
me.
that people took out of context. Is like,
What was how is it out of context? It is exactly what she
It's
said.
exactly what she said. She does throughout her statement be like, it's disgusting, and also this.
But then why speak up and say
why
that?
say
technically
that?
They were an older child, so it's
Yeah.
not as disgusting. Like,
Yeah, I'm just like, you shouldn't have said that. You have media training, Megan. So
which is also coming from the party who tried to make underage marriage a thing just like 2 or 3 years ago on, I forget which state it was in the Midwest.
what the?
Yes. There was basically, they tried to slip in, and it was called out by Democrats that Republicans tried to pass this ability for underage people, assuming girls, could marry legally. It's the same reason they want to take away child labor laws. They try to profit and take advantage of underage children.
Oh, Missouri.
Yeah, there you go. Missouri. See, I'm not making shit up.
Did you know any kids who have been married at age 12? I do. And guess what? They're still married. Missouri State Senator Mike Moon.
oh God,
See, like, this
guess
is-
what? They're still
Again,
married.
It's not.
Gross.
It's not a hyperbole. It's not an exaggeration. This is what the GOP stands for, and the only reason they got rid of that little like loophole that was created is because Democrats were like, "Y'all are creeps, dude. Like, this is weird.
so
This is
weird.
You guys say that you're not weird, but then you say that marrying underage girls is totally cool."
I think I really just wish that we had rational thinking and sanity, because any single person who has a weird offhand comment about any of this stuff should be properly investigated.
Essentially, the part that I was just like, why would you? I was like, you're contradicting yourself. She was like, he would go for the barely legal types, the ones who looked
Oh,
older for their age, but if you saw them in passing, you would think they were younger. And I'm like, so then which one is it? Those things contradict
they also
themselves. And
either
also,
one
who
you
the f- cares?
doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
you either
both
go
are
for
bad.
you either go for someone who looks younger. Okay, clearly that's a fetish, or you
14,
go
that's
for
like-
someone who is younger but may look older. It's like, so
It doesn't matter. Child brain.
It's despicable.
Anyway, I was just like, what are you talking about, Megan?
Megyn Kelly.
So
Oh, I got so mad. I actually messaged her on TikTok. I was like drunk. I was like, "You despicable!" I was like, "This is the point of anger I'm at, where I'm starting to send hate DMs because I'm like, how is this happening?"
Did TikTok let you send it?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what I said. It probably wasn't that bad. I was drunk playing pool, and I was like,
now
"I know what I need to do." No, I'm definitely not blocked.
but
The Megyn Kelly show, I said, "Shame on you and your entire team. 15 is a child."
Okay.
It's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
You
also look at things she said back in
TikTok won't let
2016,
you.
2017 about Donald
I didn't
Trump.
know Megyn Kelly at all until this.
Yeah. She is.
Oh, yeah,
She has
ugh.
her arc has gone from 2016, 2017. She was someone who was anti-Trump. Then during the presidential debates, Donald Trump said because Megyn Kelly brought up all of this stuff, all these allegations during the debate. He said, "You're pro-women, but actually these are all the things that women have said." Then following the debate, Donald Trump, this is the quote of, "She had blood coming from everywhere. And that was the whole like menstruating blood period comment. Now you look at Megyn Kelly and she has gone so far right into MAGA land that...
Do you think he like drugged them and then got them to do things and then got photos of it? Like, I genuinely can't understand the switch of so many, like Lindsey Graham, JD Vance, Megyn Kelly. I'm not understanding how they all
just want
suddenly,
money.
but this bad?
Yeah. That's what they do.
I'm not understanding. Like, they had money before.
Yeah, but now they have more money.
People are,
and
but
more
he's gonna
fame
get
and more
jailed. Like,
influence.
and then they're going to shift.
Yeah.
They're just going to constantly shift.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't even think Donald Trump is going to go to jail because what's going to happen is he's going to get out
Die.
of office. He'll eventually die, but it'll look at the same way of like, well, this guy's 82, 83. We're not going to send him to prison.
oh, give me a break.
I don't think, I just don't know if it's going to happen. Like
That's
we're gonna prove that he's connected. He's obviously involved, but I think at the end of the day, once he gets out of office, they're gonna be like, just not even worth it. And I'm like, I don't agree with that.
I'm a child of Nemesis, so balance, justice, and vengeance, and I'm feeling
But
like
with that, my first go to is like, if you can't get him in jail, the first thing you got to do before he leaves
snipe.
is impeach.
Oh,
Because protection, library, all of the benefits, all of that is gone. You lose that. And then you take everything away and then you go after them after that.
yeah.
Then there's no protection. Everything's good. Sorry.
And then the final thing is there's an AI video that I guess is going around. It's Virginia
Oh, really?
Giuffre. Okay, yeah, I was like, it's spelled Giuffre. Basically, of her voice saying that Obama was the worst offender on the island. And this got shared, and there's no proof that this is real, and she has said that it's not real.
I mean, she can't even say it's not real anymore because she committed suicide. And all
People are saying that it's
yeah.
not real. Yeah.
I love Republicans for how consistent they are with blaming two things, Biden or Obama. And anytime, well, look at Biden, well, look at Obama comes out of their mouths, I know you are guilty. You did exactly what we are accusing you of, and you think this scapegoat will work.
Yeah.
And it never does.
I mean, like like Donald Trump, he claims that it's a hoax. He says it's a Democrat hoax.
But even though that's crazy rhetoric, because nobody would make this big of a deal out of a hoax.
Right. I mean,
None of it lines up.
He said it before. He was like, oh, this is something that Obama created and Biden created and Comey created, all people that he's trying to go after, with hilarious results that it's going to just be laughed out of court. And specifically talking about Comey and Letitia James. He's going to go after everyone and blame them for his problem, And I think it was Chris Murphy said, he's like, Donald Trump is at the center of this sex trafficking ring. And we're always like, oh my God, that's defamation. It's like, I mean, if we want to talk about semantics, technically he's not wrong. Jeffrey Epstein used Mar-a-Lago as a recruiting grounds. Jeffrey Epstein was friends with Donald Trump 15 years. There was the Jane Doe who came forward in 2016 that said that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein raped her. And that one has since disappeared before that election. But like, this is something where you look at the party and they're like, it's a hoax. It's this. Well, it's either one or the other. It's either a real thing and there's this sex trafficking ring that we can all agree that Jeffrey Epstein is a horrible, disgusting, vile, or was a horrible, disgusting, vile person, or it's all made up. Because Donald Trump's also saying like, oh, they put stuff in the files. The same way that he said that when they came to Mar-a-Lago to take back the classified documents that he illegally stole from the government, he said, well, the FBI, they planted those things. They planted the things to make me look bad, which is not true. The guy was stuffing boxes of documents in a bathroom, a chimney, a ballroom, by his desk. These people will come up with any excuse to justify Donald Trump's actions or to protect Donald Trump. And so they're saying it's a hoax and they're saying it's whatever. And now Donald Trump is saying, well, oh yeah, I'll sign the bill.
Right.
I'll release the documents.
And isn't part of never.
And so the reason being is because he's waited months. because again, he promised he would do it beforehand. Then he waited months and he tried to like gaslight people to make it seem like he was actually doing it when he didn't really do it, and use these the influencers as a pawn, then like delay. That's why Thomas Massey was like, he delayed for 4+ months, and he could have done something about it and not created this very public display and embarrassing display if he would have just done his job and followed through on the promise that he made. And he's like, I'm here. And I don't agree with Thomas Massey at all. Like, he's still the guy that sent a Christmas card with holding guns with his family days after a school shooting. So like, the guy doesn't get any sort of like, we're not going to rewrite this guy's legacy. But he is one of the only people on the Republican side who is willing to stand up to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump doesn't like that. And Donald Trump is going after people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who didn't even say anything bad about Donald Trump.
She just said the government shutdown is the Republicans.
Right. We're not doing anything. We're not doing any justice for the victims. Donald Trump promised that he would release the Epstein files. Mike Johnson is not good as speaker. They're not doing their job. And Donald Trump took it as she lost her way, cult talk. She is someone that I don't support anymore. I'm not endorsing, even though she was like MAGA #1 from the beginning, like QAnon, cabal, Donald Trump, save us type. And now Donald Trump is like, well, you're not sending the narrative that we want around. You're doing your own thing. We don't like you, which is she's been getting swatted, which is what other people who don't want in Indiana, who don't want to go along the same lines of following Greg Abbott in Texas. Those people are getting attacked. They're getting swatted. And I think it's an overall pattern is these people are realizing that Donald Trump doesn't actually have as much power as he said he did, or they thought that he did, because you're seeing that in these various cities who are getting, military sent in. You're seeing it within Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're seeing it with other Republicans who are now standing up to be like, nah, we're not going to do that thing.
Yeah.
The reason that Donald Trump now is like, yeah, well, let's release the files. Republicans should vote for it. We should totally do that. The only reason he's doing that is because two things. One, it's going to go through. It was passed in the House, minus Clay Higgins' 1 vote no to protect pedophiles. And then when it gets to the Senate, that is where I mentioned earlier that they're trying to make this image of Donald Trump as this innocent person that was caught in the mix, didn't even know what was going on. Even though they said that, Mike Johnson's words, that Donald Trump was an FBI informant that helped get the information to the FBI to bust Jeffrey Epstein.
Fell into a few kids while he was getting all this super helpful information.
Which is also doesn't make any sense, because the person that got Jeffrey Epstein the sweetheart deal in Florida then became a part of Donald Trump's cabinet in his first term. So it doesn't make any sense that anyone can justify Donald Trump's actions or try to say, oh, well, he's playing 4D chess. The guy is barely playing checkers right now, and he's cornered like a rat.
Yeah.
And so the only tactic they have is, which is the reason that everyone's like, why didn't the files get released during Biden's administration? It's because that Ghislaine Maxwell's investigation was ongoing, and they could not release any documents because it was part of the evidence in their investigation. And now their tactic is, release the files. I'll bring it to my desk and I'll vote yes on it. But when it gets to the Senate, Mike Johnson said today that there were protections in place for the victims and innocent people that weren't there, meaning they're going to redact everything and make sure that if it is released and it goes to his desk, that two things are going to happen. One, that it's going to be pretty much blacked out of anything that mentions Donald Trump, which is why he had the FBI in March spend 24-hour shifts going through and finding his name.
Yeah, that screams super innocent to me.
And then the other thing is Donald Trump has ordered Pam Bondi to investigate only the Democrats, because they're the ones who started this and they're the real problem. And if it's an investigation with the DOJ, even though he signed the bill and said, yeah, let's release it, the DOJ says, well, actually, we can't release it because it's part of our ongoing investigation. So there's two things that are going to happen. One, they're going to redact the out of it to protect Donald Trump. And then two, he'll get around to signing it, but then the DOJ, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino will all do stuff to protect Donald Trump to say, well, we have to keep it internally to investigate.
I don't understand how this is happening. I don't understand.
Look, I don't care if it's...
I've never seen the law work this well.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
It is wild to see. But we all agree here, and I think that you ask any Democrat or anyone on the left, when they're like, oh, well, what about Clinton? I don't give a dude.
The less pedophiles roaming out there, the better.
Right.
Yeah,
The
all
less
of them.
heinously
It could be
rich
my favorite person on the planet, and they're in those files, jail. Goodbye.
Yo, like the fact that people are like, oh, well, no one's calling out Larry Summers, who was a part of Obama's administration. Yeah, dude, Larry Summers just stepped away from public events because of all the stuff. Because Larry Summers was asking Jeffrey Epstein in the emails, how do I approach women and get these women? And the age, who they were talking about, I don't know. But the fact that even he's in there, it's like, okay, no one is safe. There are Democrats, there are Republicans, there are billionaires, there are other CEOs, Fortune 500, politicians, whoever. Anyone in these files does not get, a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
These are people who should be investigated regardless of their political affiliation or what they're, if they're an R or a D or an I or whatever they are next to their name. They should go to jail. They should be convicted. There is no excuse. There's no way that you can also look at it and be like, oh, Donald Trump is totally innocent.
No, I've
but
seen-
when you've heard the things that they've said about Donald Trump or Jeffrey Epstein saying about Donald Trump, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think people forget what kind of generation we are, and I've seen influencers get canceled and have their entire livelihood stripped from them for less. So we don't care who's in the files. We just want you to stop protecting them.
But one thing, to bring it back to the military in the U.S., is now there are people in the military who are seeking legal aid because of the stuff that they're doing in the U.S. Because some of them are smart enough to be like, maybe
Kind of defies our oaths.
should we be bombing this boat of fishermen? Should we be, detaining these people illegally? Should we be removing habeas corpus? Like, these people are not protected. And so when this administration goes away, they're going to be left holding the bag. And some of them are like, actually, this isn't worth it.
Yeah. ICE quite literally raided a church. They pointed guns at civilians. And like, from the firsthand, what we're getting from the people in the church is these ICE agents just came in and they started arresting workers that were just outside gardening. And then they threatened to arrest any of the church members if they acted. There was a 15-year-old who is a legal citizen who started running. And then he was like, wait, why am I running? There's people crying inside. Like, it's just full force terrorism and Nazi Gestapo insanity. Not only that, but the presence of ICE is so scary that businesses are closing because they don't, like, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen. Everyone's like, well, I guess they know where the place to look is. But it's like, it doesn't really matter when they're detaining anyone that looks brown. Like, I saw videos today of the journalist who was detained and she was a Canadian and she was sent here, then to Arizona. And this, like, all these people are here with work visas, green cards, legal. And it doesn't matter.
Gregory Bovino, who's the senior official within the Border Patrol, he's the guy that you typically see on outside of DHS officials, but he's the one that you've seen be like, oh, he's looks like he'd be a Nazi, kind of person. Like, he's clearly doing signals to like troll people, if you want to call it that. But there was I think it was Fox News. I saw a clip this morning or yesterday that they were asking about the, day laborers or the gardeners being questioned. And they're like, well, do you feel like this goes outside of the purview of looking for criminals? And he's like, well, how do you know they're not criminals? And
How do you know they are? You didn't ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's like, you don't have any, like, the rights you're violating by just assuming that somebody because of the color of their skin, even though I know that, like, Supreme Court says racial profiling is, like, totally cool now. The idea that you can just, like, look at someone who's, like, got darker melanin or, like, a darker, brown skin or speaks differently or whatever it is, that your assumption is they're not from here, and because they're not from here, they're probably a criminal.
Yeah, guilty until proven innocent is kind of what we're seeing right now. I mean, even when you are proven to be a U.S. citizen, you can get detained twice by ICE in the same day, which did happen to an individual who pulled out his ID. He showed that he was a citizen, legal, and ICE let him go. And then he gets detained later. They break his window. Like, it's insanity. Not only that, they're stupid. They tried to deport a Native American. Can you imagine saying that sentence to someone 7 years ago? ICE tried to deport a Native American. This is like, this is so normal that, like, I didn't even see that making main headlines. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
'Cause they're
gobsmacking.
so stupid.
They're idiot. They're literal sociopaths who were given like badges and permission, and they were. And not only that, but FBI just put out a story. FBI's warning like a day ago. Oh, people are going to impersonate ICE. No. Like, people are impersonating ICE to kidnap, to rape, to sex traffic, and we can't do anything because then we'll be arrested, we'll be detained. You have no idea what apparently we're able to be used as training grounds. Like, I know this is just an update, and I'm going to try not to get angry about the things we already know are happening, but it is really hard because when we keep covering topics like this, like, what do we get to do except hope that we don't have this, like, but it's the damage is done.
Yeah.
We have the Nazi Party in America, and they have federal badges. So I'm not really sure what else to say.
They're perfecting the technique. They're perfecting the strategy. They're practicing on people of color, minorities, marginalized groups, anyone who doesn't look like them. And then they're like, great, this is how we do it.
What can we say they did illegally?
Right. But then you jump to, okay, now that we've perfected this in the sense of like what we can do, what we can say, how can we justify it, and we get it. So it's like limited amount of eyes on these people leaving. Then you move over to white people. And those are the people who say anything against the administration. So they're like, okay, great. Now we know how to do it. Now we can apply it as quickly, as efficiently, as inhumanely as possible without people knowing what's going on. And then people begin to disappear. And people are like, oh, that's hyperbole.
No, it's not.
Literally what's going on right now. And you know this because, like, okay, they left Chicago, they left Portland, they left LA, they've gone to Charlotte. I mean, like, the idea that people are like, I voted for this. It's like, did you vote for terrorism? Because it's domestic terrorism.
I don't think they care at this point because they don't think it'll impact them. And like, just the videos they keep seeing of people being like, well, shouldn't have done it then, shouldn't have done it. And it's like, you can't even penetrate their rock skulls to get them to remember that these people like are citizens, green card holders. They have visas, they have work permits. Like, it doesn't matter to, it's just, it's gobsmacked. And like, I was watching a video today of a man who was detained and held by ICE. And he was like, yeah, I was detained in Egypt. And it was more unfair and more traumatizing here. They said he was connected to a terrorist organization. He was like, I run a profit in a charity for children.
And don't let any Republican, because right now the argument they're trying to make on different news shows is they're saying like, oh, well, they're like, oh, well, this person was trying to pull out their real ID, right, to show that they were actually a citizen. And they go, well, they're an illegal immigrant. And it's like, you can't get a real ID. That's not how it works. And so like the idea that Republicans are like, oh, well, all these illegals keep coming in, they're getting real IDs and they're voting.
Wonder how that happens.
That's not a thing. And so the idea of them perpetuating this lie on, mainstream media, on news channels and talk shows, because that's what news is now. It's not like objectively this is the truth anymore. It's now opinion pieces and roundtable discussions and who can say the most controversial thing to get their 15 minutes of fame. And so you see that all the time now where they're just like, they know what they're saying is a lie. Like Scott Jennings, that guy on CNN and all that he does. He is almost like number one person when it comes to perpetuating lies from the GOP or just their overall just like lie of this family wasn't pepper sprayed in the parking lot of a Sam's Club or Walmart or whatever it is.
As if it matters.
Right. And it's like, just because you make these propaganda videos where some cookie cutter copy and paste person that is like a blonde white person for DHS or Homeland Security makes a video saying this isn't actually what happened, when it is in fact what happened, and you're trying to either gaslight, lie, manipulate the truth, or put it in a context that makes it seem not as intense or inhumane. And
yeah, I've noticed that too. I'm like, they're detaining U.S. citizens, and someone's like, it was only 8 of them.
They'll always find a way to justify. They will take a situation that they would have said 8, 10, 12, 15 years ago and said, this is
diabolical.
This is treasonous. This is what a traitor does. This is tyrannical, whatever it is. They'll say that. And now they're like, okay, how do we reverse engineer this to make it so that what they did that was illegal is okay?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me. There is nothing that has depressed me more. Regardless of what happens, I cannot look at people the same way ever again, like, because it's so abysmal and it's terrifying. I could cry. Makes me so upset. We have a review on our Sinister Affirmations deck. Someone says, it's sinister how perfect this set is for my friend. I don't usually shop early for Christmas, but this checked all the boxes for one who has everything they need, and now I want it for myself. And if you like our Sinister Affirmations, you can get our Cynical Affirmations, which just came out, I believe, last week. It is very fun. I like the things that they say. And now we have a hate comment from Jack Tripper. Jack Tripper says, and we don't know what video this is on. You have 9 cats and no man. And to that, I would say, Jack, between the two of us, we only have 5. So there is always room for improvement.
We have 1 man.
Yeah.
Always room for improvement. You know what I'm saying?
Shared.
Tune in for the next 7 years of dating in my life. It's apparently, from what I've heard, it's just horrible out there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Is that once we've gotten past this like garbage, I really feel like the terrors that are politics are like seeping into every aspect of life. And I feel like finding community, people who aren't a part of.
I mean, we're doing pretty okay in LA, but there's some sleeper agents out there.
Yes.
That they don't reveal themselves until it's a little too late to whatever.
Also, 9 cats and no man.
Sounds like a dream.
Insult.
It sounds like a dream.
Time. Cats are awesome.
They're so funny. I was watching mine last night. They just run around and they're cute and they're soft and they give me kisses. And they never say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to say. Or I'm sorry you feel that way. Moving on. Yippee.
Okay, what is everyone obsessed with lately that holds no appeal for you?
Labubu's.
I was gonna say Labubu's as well.
Labubu's.
6'7"?
All things for kids. If it's for the kids, it's for the kids. It's not for the adults.
I had to ban
kids.
that at my summer camp this year. I was like, if I hear that come out of your mouth one more time.
And now people are getting tickets. They're getting issued tickets for doing 6'7".
Whatever do you
tickets?
mean? How?
What do you mean? We're kidnapping people on the streets, but you
6'7",
can't do a little
dude.
6'7"?
You can't do 6'7", dude.
What popular mental health advice actually isn't very good. I will say this. There is this rise in protect your boundaries, never do anything that makes you uncomfortable. And I think that is the most toxic thing that we have rediscovered. You need your village, you need your community, and like you will not be happier if you're like, oh, I'm just always so tired, I just can't make it out. You disrespected my boundaries, so now I just can't ever speak to you again. Yeah.
But also the fact of like, I totally agree. And the don't do anything that challenges you. It's like, well, if you don't do anything that challenges you, then you don't grow, right?
Yeah.
And not even a relationship, just like
Challenge
anything in
yourself.
life. Like I would challenge to learn a new skill set that might level me up in my career.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things where it's like, you have to do the things that make you uncomfortable.
In order to get anywhere.
Right.
No,
if you don't, then you're just the same kind of boring person.
Well, we've been led to believe that like anything that makes us uncomfortable is bad. It's just like stupid. Like people are just so self-centered, more so now than they ever have been before. And it's like we've been taught that, oh, we need to actually do this because this is the way to keep yourself safe. But it's like so selfish. Like it literally doesn't help your friends, family, community, nothing. And it doesn't help you.
I'm sure that this works for some people, but meditating, I'm like, I don't believe that's a thing that people
I tried
are
to use
actually...
that Calm app, the Calm app once.
Yeah.
Is that where you breathe in?
Yeah. It was like 5, 4.
No,
and I'm like,
no,
no, I'm done. I got to go into something else.
Pisses me off.
If it works for you, that's lovely. I'm not saying that it's not good advice, but I feel like meditation seems to me like somebody who's advanced. And so giving that advice to someone who's struggling, like it's bad advice.
Right. It feels like,
I feel like you have to be coming from like an already very good place.
I've heard people say like, you know, it's like, oh, for your mental health, like don't, or like avoid confrontation, you know, where it's like, instead of, you know, like expelling whatever it is towards someone else to be like, you know, I'm angry or I'm upset about this. Like, you just like, you know what? Just like, let it roll over you like a stone in a stream. And I'm like, no, because while some things, yeah, sure, you just like, whatever, I'm not even gonna think about it. There are some things that you should absolutely be like, this is f***ing absurd. I'm not okay with this. And you should let those things happen, because then what happens is you then internalize them and then you hold them in, and stress and tension has so many different effects on your body. You're like, oh, my muscles are tighter. Like, oh, I'm sore here, or whatever it is. Like, your mental health actually takes a hit. So whenever I hear people like, oh, like, try to avoid confrontation, I'm like, no, I'm going to say what I'm going to say when I'm going to say it, because there are too many times that I've seen people act kind of complicit in stuff because they are too afraid to say something. All right, so I'm going to pull a card from the Joy deck. And the question is, what was the most fun you've had in the last year?
I've been saying it a lot today, but just summer camp, just working with my kids. And then it was like the third summer at this camp. So like your staff, you get really close and it just feels like a lot more of a family dynamic. And like I never laugh harder than when there's like an 8-year-old fighting for life or death with a person in a cape. Like it's genuinely just the best job in the world. So loves it.
I would say that the most fun I've had is I took a 2.5 week vacation. It was like part honeymoon, part just like general going traveling. This was a good one because it was like, great. I'm like, I'm going to this country, I'm going to this island, and I'm like slowing down even while the world burns. It was a nice kind of moment to just like enjoy with my wife, relax, see new places, try new foods, experience new things. And so just like, a little me time,
I renewed my Six Flags annual pass.
Oh.
Love Six Flags.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I love Six Flags. I love roller coasters.
Oh, man. Wow. If you want to buy our Delve Deck card games, you can get them at boredwalk.com. Until then, we need to get off these mics. We love you so much. Bye.